Yahweh, 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 that was a spirit song, and so we called in spirit into our interaction today, and into a reminder to me of what has transpired. And what has transpired is that when I found my children at an age when they didn't need constant watching, I found a moment in my life to begin exploring for myself a deeper level of who I am and how I relate to life itself. I had already been involved in ceramics for a number of years, but I began to I went back to school to find out more about it, and got a second bachelor's and master's degree in art. Now, it was in getting that master's degree that I saw a level of artwork that I felt was trivial. And I had judgment against that. I didn't want to expend my life force into littering the planet with unneeded stuff. So I began to look for the core of myself, the core of my life, so that would come through the work that I was doing. And for me, that meant a spiritual journey. In leading ceremonies myself, purification lodges and prayer dances and vision quests, a woman came to me who had written a play. This is Libby Halabi, had written a play called Shattered Secrets. And the play was about people who had survived abuse and were seeking healing. She asked me to lead purification lodges for the people who were in the play and who were in the process of healing wounds themselves. So that's how I became aware of the preponderance of abuse in our culture. And in looking at and deeply looking at that issue, I discovered that it was a sexual issue, and that within that sexual issue was the problem of unequal sexual energy between men and women. So that eventually became the focus of my attention. What do we do about that? What do we do about a society, a culture in which masculine energy, sexual energy, has unlimited expression, and female sexual energy has limited expression? And I'm thinking that this imbalance is what leads to a perversion. What has transpired in the series of events of addressing myself to abuse and then sexuality and then who are the women? Basically, the question is, who are the women and what are they doing? And I feel that women awake to the core of their own energy have something to say. And so my artwork is about women finding their way. When I was changing my life at the time that I ended my marriage, I did a lot of bicycling. And what that did was get me close to the earth and opened my eyes to seeing what was happening in a different way. And what I saw was the landscape and everything in it reshaping itself, constantly reshaping itself by water erosion, wind erosion, decay. That became a very important realization to me. As an artist, as a developing artist, this was something that helped me understand what form is and my relationship to it. And my relationship became one of the enacting the creative force as I am the creative force, so enacting that creative force without the interference of my mind and my intention. So I saw the water working on the earth and changing the form of it. I became the artist working on the clay, changing the form of it without intention. Because the water doesn't know what it's going to do to the landscape, nor does the landscape know what's going to happen to it. But the consistency of the land and the energy of the water engage each other. And it's in that engaging that something occurs. This is a Genesis story according to a segment of the Native American population. That the Creator is an energy, it's actually amorphic, completely undifferentiated in the beginning, but eventually differentiates itself into positive and negative energy. These energies are magnetized, and out of that connection, the first creation is the Creator. The Creator then is energy that can't see itself. But it has the capacity to consciously slow its energy down. So it slows itself down so that matter is created, and that's who we are. We're, the planets are created, the air is created, the waters, the plants, the animals, and the humans. All of this as the energy of the Great Spirit slowed down until it can manifest itself to itself. I'm engaging in the process of creativity. And that means that the Creator is creating through me, as the Creator is creating through all processes, through all activities, through all of life. The Creator is creating life itself and all the forms within it. So I am, as an artist, acknowledging that I am empowered to witness the Creator creating through me, and to make the choice of my will, my intention, when that is a satisfying solution to my problem. What is my problem? Finding the exuberance in female form. The work itself inspires me. So this moment where I discover what Creator is doing with my tool and the clay that's right in front of me, that moment is a catalyst. 4,000 years ago, goddess-worshipping cultures were invaded, overcome, overpowered. And the practices of the feminine that were going on in those cultures were pushed aside. Now, one of the practices was worshiping the divine through sexuality, and it's moving back to a recognition of of sexuality as an important component of the life force energy, acknowledging and presenting itself, that I think is important. Remembering what was lost, remembering what has been put aside for 4,000 years, the value of feminine energy as manifest in its purity through the sexual experience. I have to say that it is, through my journey of awakening to a higher level of my own sexuality that all of this has transpired. So that's the main energy for this search. And for the intensity of my belief that it's possible for women to wake up and know who they are. People sometimes think, well, what's she talking about? Women have been, sexual, and look at the awakening of the 60s. But I think what is missing is a connection to the sacred. That is, I am enacting a higher level of my own vibration. And as I do that, I bring myself closer to the Creator. And ownership for women. Ownership, this is my orgasm. This is my experience. This is my physical body moving to a higher level of potential. I feel that women have gone out into the world to participate without asking themselves the question, who are they? I was alive when we started, when this feminine movement was in action of pushing women out away from the kitchen sink and into the marketplace. And I know that women have gone out filling in the space without asking themselves who they are or what they can contribute that is uniquely theirs. So are they copying men? They are living in a culture that where masculine energy has been supreme. The questions and the answers have all been dictated by an energy powerfully masculine. And I think women have gone out into that arena without asking themselves what they have to bring to it that is uniquely theirs. That's the question I think women need to be asking themselves now. When this equation of equal energy becomes the norm, the problems of abuse and perversion around sexuality will be diminished. We might even, in our schools, begin to talk about pleasure and the positive side of the sexual experience. Our children might grow up thinking their parents engage as sexual beings, that there is something about sexuality beyond AIDS and syphilis and gonorrhea, that there's something positive in life that is engaged in through sexuality.